Hey YouTube, it's Terry. I'm back. No, I just sort of wanted to get on here and just talk about a couple of things that's been going through my mind lately. So I'm a father of two boys, 25 and 24, and I love them to death. They're my heart and soul. But God, they can be troublesome sometimes, especially when they're not getting along with each other. They live with each other, and they have, so like I said, when I went away to prison, my mom and dad helped me with my kids until I got out. And then I came back in and started doing my dad thing and trying to make everything work out. And then I got COVID and it just decimated me. No one knew what it was. The hospital was calling it the flu, and it wasn't the flu. I knew it wasn't. I went to bed one night being able to breathe, run, jump, smoke, no problem. The next day I woke up, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't even think of smoking a cigarette because I just couldn't hold air. I went to my mom's and she was battling in stage COPD a good chunk of her life. And she was just like, let me see your finger, put it in this pulse ox, we'll see what your oxygen is, and we'll go from there. Well, I put it in the pulse ox and it came up 82, and my mom was like, you need to get your fucking ass to the hospital now. So I went to the hospital, and the hospital proceeded to tell me I had the flu. And I knew it wasn't the flu because the flu wasn't like as bad as what it is now. But it was whatever I had it decimated my body. It destroyed it. And I'm lucky I was healthy enough then, even though I had a lot of problems with me, to get past it. What I didn't foresee was how bad it was going to leave me debilitated, because it left me in a bad way. And it's one of those things where you think of life and something like that happens, and it doesn't get no easier. And then 2020 came along, and my mom was always in the hospital. Whenever it was my birthday, she was always in the hospital. My birthday is December 14th, and like this, in 2020 it was no different. But she went in a week earlier, and she loved Christ Hospital. That was her hospital, and all of her doctors loved them. She doted on them, and she got COVID at that hospital because they didn't clean. Some of the workers didn't follow the cleaning regulations like they're supposed to, and my mom got COVID, and they didn't even try to put her on a ventilator. They didn't do anything. They just kicked her straight to hospice. And the last time I seen my mom, she looked at me, and she didn't know who I was. She was snowed out of her mind, and she's like, I'm gonna go be with my mom soon. I'm gonna go be with my grandma soon. And I just broke. That hurt me so bad when your own mom can't even tell you who you are. And she doesn't know. And then I get the call 3 days after my birthday from my son, who said, Mom passed, Nana passed. And for me, it broke my heart because I was close to my mom for a long time. And everyone says you're going to regret how you treated your parents. And I did. I regretted my parents. I regretted some of the stuff I did. Some of the stuff I don't, but some of the stuff I really do regret. And like, my mom knew I wasn't going to be able to come to her funeral. I just couldn't. I couldn't watch her be buried. I'm already a person that has problem with funerals to begin with. It takes everything out of me, and I have panic attacks. I have all kinds of issues. I have a bad problem with death because I've been around a lot of it in my life. And then it comes 4 months later. I'm talking to my dad. I'm in the hospital with pneumonia. And at this point, I've been sober for maybe 2 years at this point. And my dad would take anything he could get his hands on. He loved pain pills. He loved anything he could get his hands on, really, that would get him high. It didn't matter if it was high, low, mids, whatever. It didn't matter if it was up or down, or he was for it. And here's the thing you gotta understand about my dad. He was a 2-time Golden Glove boxing champion. And he got shot 6 times and stabbed damn near 22. Died on the table 3 times and came back the final time they revived him. And his father didn't treat him the best. He treated my dad like dog shit. And so my dad beat his dad up at a young age, got kicked out. My dad beat up his principal in the 6th grade and got kicked out. My dad was just, he didn't know how to, he didn't know what love was. So the first time I got into a fight, I got jumped by 6 kids. And back then with the whole racist thing, I was like the only white boy in the all-black neighborhood. And they didn't like me back then because they couldn't tell what I was, who I was, if I was racist or if I wasn't. And they didn't, you know, it wasn't one of those things where they're going, hey, are you racist? I got my ass kicked by 6 kids at the age of 10. And then I went home and my dad seen that I got my ass beat. And my dad didn't teach me how to fight or anything up until then. But I remember my dad cracked my sternum, busted my orbital, and drug me out and made me fight those kids all one-on-one. I never lost another fight after that night. And I never was going to lose another fight. I wasn't going to start it, but I was going to finish it. I never wanted to feel like my dad was going to murder me if I didn't do what I was supposed to. And I remember the one time that my dad got to see me fight, I was 17. And I was fighting this kid who was 27. And he liked picking on little kids. He was picking on a 14-year-old. And I seen it, and I put a stop to it. Now, the only thing I didn't know was this piece of shit was doing LSD and PCP like shortly before I got into the fight with him. So that made for an interesting fight because most fights are 30, 40 seconds, maybe a minute, and it's over. This thing went fucking on for like damn near 30 minutes, and I'm not joking. By the time it was over, I wanted to die. I only got hit twice. By the time I was done with him, he couldn't see out of his left or right eyes. I fucked him up. I broke both my hands beating on him, and I was still beating on him with broken hands. Now, given you, I was big into Muay Thai kickboxing. I'd gotten big into martial arts. My dad taught me how to box, so, and my dad was like, you know, that white boy's got hands, because he couldn't see who I was. And for me, I kind of like that. That's my dad saying, that he's pretty badass. But then when my dad found out it was me, he was like, oh, you did okay. And it just took all the wind out of me because I wanted to be just like him when I was young. I didn't put it together that that's not what I wanted to be until I got a little older and more mature. At that point, I was still trying to prove myself to people. And I was still protecting people because I was a geek. If you picked on my friends who was geeks, I was going to kick your ass. And if you're picking on people you know you can beat, then you're a coward and you have no honor. It's just how it is. Fight someone that you don't know you can beat. Give yourself a challenge if you're going to be like that. But I got, like I said, big into martial arts, Muay Thai, kickboxing, shoot fighting, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, just different things to learn different areas, like Taekwondo for kicks. You know, there's just different areas I wanted to learn. But I learned like who I wanted to be shortly after. I learned I didn't want to fight no more. I learned I wanted to be a good person that protected people and protected the people we love. And that's who I wanted to be. And